Hi again, so another GranTurismo 6 tuning video for you guys today, and this video is going to be for the Audi Type C V16 Streamliner. It's the oldest car in GT6, and it's one of my personal favourites to drive on the game. It was the first properly fast car that I bought on GT6. It's really good value for the money as well, for $500,000. So here's what you want to do to it. Racing soft tyres as always, because that gets you a couple of miles per hour extra top speed and obviously better handling. For suspension, you want your ride height on 60 front and rear. I can't actually remember, if I change the spring rate. You'll have to just have a look at yours and see if yours is different or the same, but I'm pretty sure I've increased the dampers to 4 instead of 3, I think. The anti-roll bars I've definitely increased up to 5, because this car doesn't have the best handling. Unfortunately, you can't change the camber angle on this car because of the wheel covers, and the toe angle I've just put to 0. Haven't touched the brake balance. As for the transmission, the problem with this car, as any of you who have driven it will probably know, is that because of its gearbox, you can't really have really good acceleration and top speed. It's a bit like the Chaparral, you have to choose which one you want. But I found kind of a can't think of the word now, but a compromise. Yeah, a compromise between the two. So it's got pretty good acceleration, pretty good top speed. So you want to set your auto settings as high as possible, as always. I'm not sure if I've actually touched any of these gears. You'll have to just compare it to your own gears there. And the final drive you want on 2.4. As for the drivetrain, you want to put your initial torque as high as possible. Now in most supercars I'd say don't do this because it makes your wheel spin, but with the V16 you do need that initial torque to allow it to keep up with the quicker cars like the Huayra off the line. You want your acceleration sensitivity as high as possible and your braking as low as possible, because this car isn't designed for taking corners, it's just designed for straight lines. Well, it is designed for taking corners, but you know what I mean. It's not designed to be like a Nuremberg ring track machine. You want to fit all the upgrades that you can, which I believe is only the turbo. And for the body, obviously you want your downforce as low as possible. And that's it for the actual tuning side of things. You want to turn your traction off, and I'll turn the sound up a bit. And let's see how it runs. Now this, as I said, was the first fast car I bought on this game, and I've done quite a few miles on it so far. I've done about just under 2,000 miles, I think. As you can see, fifth gear is slightly more sluggish, but as I said before, it's for the same reason as the Chaparral. You can't really have the best of both. But it is still quick enough to keep up with most of the new supercars. Another advantage that you may not know about this car, or that many people don't seem to realise, is that the fuel in the Audi V16 actually lasts longer than most of the other cars. The Audi can do about 4 laps without pitting in, whereas most supercars can only do 2, so that is a big advantage in online racing. And as you can see, because of its gearing, it does keep up its top speed quite well. It has a cruising speed of 295. You will need to give this car an oil change fairly regularly, because the engine does wear out after about 2 or 3 long races. But yeah, it will cruise nicely at 295. It can take the curve really well, even with no traction control. And yeah, there you go. One last point about this car is that because of the gearing, the speed that you can get up to with slipstream, unfortunately, is only 312. And you want to, if you're going to use this car in racing, make sure that when you get someone's slipstream, you let go of the throttle before you get to 312. Because if you don't, it'll hit 312 and then drop down to about 286, which is a shame. It means that it's kind of annoying to drive in slipstream. But as long as you just feather the throttle and keep it at around 310, you should be able to do pretty well. So there you go, there's a tune setup for the Audi V16 Type C Streamliner. I hope this helps, and I hope you have as much fun in this car as I do. Thanks for watching.